Evening, and hopefully you are having a good Halloween. I hosted a poll on my YouTube channel of 3 suggestions of who I might be making for Halloween this year. Last year I made Godzilla in Hell for Halloween. It was pretty fitting of the theme. So I think it worked out, though my mock definitely wasn't the best interpretation of Godzilla in Hell. I think it was a good build, worth my appreciation, hopefully worth some of yours. This time, we ended up getting the man in the suit, a very common asked build. Unfortunately, no special trick here where the build has some minifigure inside, no crazy lighting design, and I didn't even get to build a diagram because I'm on the clock, and the clock is not waiting for me. So I had to make things quick. In a span of 4 days, here it is. Godzilla, the man in the suit. In Lego. From yours truly, ZK Art Studios. This mock is meant to just imitate the suit specifically that was featured throughout most of the analog core, assuming they use the same suit. Not someone who's ever watched it myself, though I'm unfamiliar with the history of the fan film, but I do know and greatly appreciate enough about it for what it is. It is a fan film of what I believe a wearer of the original Godzilla suit during the 1955 film was taken over just like a classic FNAF story, and now is some sort of monster inside the suit, or the suit itself's the monster. Let me know if you know anything about it. I would honestly be pretty cool reading some bit about it. Not much a fan though. It's not my kind of thing, but I do appreciate the individual who put the work in to create such an awesome story, and all the people that get to enjoy it because of that is quite awesome. Anyways, the imitation is really just that Godzilla. Some slight differences that were chosen due to it being the man in the suit and not the uniform was specifically the tooth-like feature for the head and the straight-on look that it's meant to give, just mimicking the classic shot used all throughout a lot of my research on this character's design, as well as some slight choices of using minifigure parts to create the body due to the classic origin of the human left inside. So for that example, I have minifigure legs for his legs and then hands for the eyes. I'm quite happy with it, unaware on its height. And it took 4 days to build. It's all the time I had. The head was obviously the first thing I did, and then I went down to the rest of the body, which is why the rest of the body looks mostly like all my body designs. Tail was the last, as always, which is why the tail looks the most like everything I've ever done. And the legs were actually done before the body, because I wanted a very presentable leg, and I think I did a proper job at presenting the legs properly. Other than that, let's discuss the articulation. I've been doing this for like 2 years now, this is crazy. The articulation starts at the head, where we will have a ball joint connected to the neck. Classic, which you'll see on pretty much every build I think I've ever made. The mouth is a singular hinge connected by 2 clips. It can go up and down, that's pretty much it. It's got a huge overbite, I know. The eyebrows can be lifted up as they're just clipped onto a joint on the back, but they're meant to be static in location, so don't articulate that. The neck can be moved up and down, and that is quite literally it. The limitations are pretty funny, but the way it looks headbutting is also pretty funny. Moving down the body, I guess the dorsal fins have a bit of articulation where the 2 top pieces are able to move up and down, but that's once again not something you're meant to articulate. Under the shoulders, ball joints. You're going to hear that a lot. I'm sure you already have. The ball joints can be rotated fairly freely. There isn't much limitations to their range. The shoulders are hinges. These are pretty much the exact same hand design that I used for Godzilla Evolve in the action figure series, despite this not necessarily being an action figure series model. The hand, wrist, wrist, if I may, is a ball joint, and the fingers are the funniest looking thing I've ever made, and they don't move unless you count loose stud connection, then you can rotate them. Moving down the body, we have the waist with the most limited range articulation ever, to the point that I might as well just not put articulation in the waist. Sorry, I know a lot of you in the pool specifically said you would have preferred a more articulated version, but I did what I enjoyed more than listening to y'all. This is my channel. Don't forget that. But no, seriously, I did listen to what y'all tried to say and add as much articulation as I felt could be appropriate for my style and time I had. But when it came to actually building the body up, the articulation massively decreased every piece that I added on, and made the torso rotation very limited. Going down to the legs, they're a ball joint, not a ratchet joint. Despite its size, they're actually pretty strong and small pieces for. Normally I would use a ratchet on Godzilla design in this proportion, but the ball joints can rotate the leg pretty freely. There is a singular piece right above it which doesn't allow, due to that piece, a lot of articulation potential. Instead, the leg can move to about the amount that you see me moving it right now. The knee is connected by a minifigure leg, which is upside down, going directly into a piece that would be the calf, sure. And then the foot is just two clips connected to a hinge. Each toe can be moved. They're simply just clips at odd angles, though they're specifically meant to be at a The clips for the toes can be moved back and forth, but they're specifically meant to be at a particular angle, meant to allow the feet to have its specific positions, design, and stand up appropriately. Otherwise, if the feet are placed flat or a little too curved, it won't stand appropriately or accordingly. The tail is just ball joints for the first 4 joints. They're pretty free, except for the first one. The first one is limited due to the location of the legs and their thickness. The rest are fully rotatable with little to no restrictions, and then we end up reaching 2 hinges at the very end. Classic tail design. Actually, this is kind of a good looking Godzilla tail though. I always like this design on tails. It just looks like a tail to me, so I never change it, and I won't think I ever will. Thanks for watching. Let's get into the how to build section. This is where I'll list off the part list of just 3 images of every single piece that I've used during this build. Hopefully nothing missing during the photo shoot time, but if so, I'll let you know. That is every single piece. And let's move on to the how to build tutorial. Thanks for watching. Bye. I am actively making changes to the build right before recording. That's just what happens when you're on a very tight deadline. It goes through many 5-second changes that you make right before recording, and once the video is out, you get tons of comments about all the ways you could have done it just a little bit better. The fun part about releasing a video after you finish the video. Everyone makes you regret it. Can't wait down to the next build. It's in the background with Spinosaurus and Godzilla -1 up there. And something else.